It's time to talk about inflation, America, and what that means for you. So what exactly is inflation? Well, inflation is the rise in the cost of your goods versus the rise in the value of a dollar. What does that mean for your It means that the dollar's value is not a constant. More often than not, the dollar actually goes down in value. As we can see here from this graph, the United States dollar has actually lost more than 2,000% of its original value in 1913 since the introduction of the Federal Reserve. So what exactly is the Federal Reserve Bank? Well, for starters, federal is one thing they are most definitely not. Imagine an entity that is created and composed and maintained by private individuals with private interests. For example, J.P. Morgan. There was a time where $20 was equivalent to 1 ounce of gold here in America. That time ended swiftly in 1913 when the Federal Reserve Bank was signed into law in secrecy. What happened shortly after that was the United States of America was taken off of the gold standard. The United States dollar was no longer pegged to the value of gold. This allowed bankers to establish a routine in which they could increase the amount of money in supply versus the amount of gold there was. Rapidly and near instantaneously, we saw the rise in the cost of gold. Shortly after that, the rise in the cost of fuel and goods such as food, beef, and bread were the most heavily affected. Since 2006 alone, the cost of beef has almost doubled. If you look here on this graph, you can see there was a time where it clearly doubled in price per pound. And the cost of bread has gone up nearly 42% in the last 7 years alone. How is this happening, and what does this mean for us? Surely minimum wage must be keeping up with the rise in cost of products. I wish I could say that that were true. However, when we look at the data from 2007 all the way to 2012, the most recent minimum wage increase, we can clearly see that it has only increased by approximately 33%. What exactly does this 33% mean in comparison to the 90% increase in the cost of goods? Compared relatively, it means that you are paying more than you should for the products you buy. This might happen to explain why the homelessness population of the United States of America has increased at an alarming rate, and why it is important for both members of a household to work in order to achieve 100% equality. Where it used to take one person to pay off all your bills, it now takes two. Add in family, and you're looking at poverty. With the data in mind, it would appear as the only logical solution is to actually increase the minimum wage once again. But what happens when we increase the minimum wage? First and foremost, employers require more money to pay their employees, which means that at a localized level, the cost of goods and products and services which you purchase will go up in accordance to the increase in the average wage of their employees. So if removing the minimum wage does not solve the problem, how can we? It's obvious we need to have a discussion, America, and we need to figure out how we can solve this problem. Leave your comments down below, like the video if you like it, dislike it if you disliked it, and subscribe for more information. Thanks for watching. This is Taylor Lasch signing out once again.